In this video right here, I am going to be focusing on the tribe of Dan. The tribe of Dan that was part of the northern kingdom. The Danites was part of the northern kingdom. Keep that in mind as I continue this pretty short, not too long, video presentation. The tribe of Dan, which are what we call the Falasha Jews in Ethiopia. And the reason why they call them the Falasha means stranger. They call them the Falasha Jews because they came from Israel as strangers. And they are from the tribe of Dan. And they know they're from the tribe of Dan. They have admitted being from the tribe of Dan many times. The Danites left. They left and went down to Ethiopia, to Cush. That is why in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 10, Yah says that he will bring back also, gather his people from Cush, Ethiopia, the Danites, from the northern kingdom. But first, I want to go inside the book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, because you have many of these lying black men. I wanted to use another name, but I will refrain from calling out their names. You have many of these camps teaching that these nations, like the Hispanics, etc., and the northern North American Indians are our people. When in fact I am going to prove also with this video, as I have already proved many times, but this video right here is pretty much going to seal the deal completely, in which it's already sealed. But I decided to do another one because they want to run off the notion that these other nations that they have as the northern kingdom, because of the verse that they run to in the book of Hosea, when it says that Ephraim, which was the 10 tribes, they became like a cake unturned. So they try to say that these nations on the chart that Ariah created, that are in the northern kingdom, are a light brown complexion based off that one verse. But if they read the whole book of Hosea, starting from the beginning, they will see that Ephraim, which was the 10 tribes, they took on the pagan ways of the surrounding nations. And those surrounding nations were the children of Ham. There was black nations. And Yah, when you read, you will see that Yah was the baker. And he ceased cooking Ephraim at night. He was the baker, and Ephraim was defiled. Therefore, they became like a cake unturned. But let them have that lie. Okay, let us let them have that lie by saying that these nations that Ariah included as the northern kingdom, the Spaniards, which are the Puerto Ricans, they are really Spaniards, mostly Spaniards. These Mexicans who are really Indians, native Indians. Let's let them have this lie. With that being said, let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, because they left out the tribe of Dan. They left out, or should I say Ariah, when he created that lion chart, he left out the tribe of Dan. Okay. And these camps, they teach that Dan will not be in the kingdom. Dan will not be included based off of Revelations. So they left Dan completely out. But let us go in the book to see. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 48, verse 1, it says, this is the division of the land. It says, now these are the names of the tribes, from the north end to the coast of the way of Hethlon, as one goeth to Hamath. Then it says, Hazar Enan, the border of Damascus, northward, to the coast of Hamath. For these are his sides. Then it says east and west. Now this is the vision that Yah gave Ezekiel concerning the new kingdom. So it says right here, it says, for these are his sides, east and west, the first tribe mentioned, it says a portion for Dan. The tribe of Dan is the first tribe mentioned. Okay, so that is a cut right there to that line chart. The tribe of Dan. Verse 2. And by the border of Dan, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Asher. You see that? So Yah told Ezekiel, the tribe of Dan will have a portion of land in the new kingdom. Now let's go over now to Ezekiel 48. And we're going to read verse 31 and 32. Ezekiel 48:31, it says, now this is the vision that Yah gave Ezekiel concerning the gates. All of the gates. Okay, each tribe will have a gate. Verse 31, it says, and the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes. Okay, shall be after the names of the tribes. Then it says, the tribes of Israel. Then it says 3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben, 1 gate of Judah, 1 gate of Levi. Verse 32. And then it says, at the east side, 4,500 and 3 gates. Then it says, and 1 gate of Joseph, which is Ephraim and Manasseh, and 1 gate of Benjamin, and 1 gate of Dan. Okay? 1 gate of Dan. The tribe of Dan will have a gate in the new kingdom. They should have been included on that fake, false 12-tribe chart that lying prophet Ariah created. The same Negro who made that false prophecy that the Messiah, Yahushua Yeshua, was returning at the stroke of midnight in the year 2000. The same Negro that made that false prophecy created that chart. The tribe of Dan will have a gate in the new kingdom. With that being said, let me continue. So Yah says that the tribe of Dan in the new kingdom, they will have a portion of land and a gate. They will have a portion of land and a gate. And the tribe of Dan was part of the northern kingdom. They was part of the northern kingdom, and they are in Ethiopia as we speak. They are the Falasha Beta Israel. They are the Falashas in Ethiopia. And they are a part of the northern kingdom. But here is the problem. Here is where you know this chart is a lie. The tribe of Dan are located in Ethiopia as we speak. They are the Falasha, the Falashas. And they know they are from the tribe of Dan. They know. They have confessed this many times. They know they are from the tribe of Dan. So they are black. They are black, and they are from the northern kingdom. But yet, you have these other nations like the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans and the Native Indians on the chart as the northern kingdom. But the Danites are in Ethiopia, and they have been keeping Torah for thousands of years. When Joseph Halevi, he was a converted white Jew. When the Jews in Europe heard of the report of the Danites in Ethiopia, they sent him down to Ethiopia to see if it was true. Now check this out. When he got down to Ethiopia, not only did he discover that the Danites were in Ethiopia, that they was keeping Torah. He was shocked to see them keeping Torah. Okay, they was keeping Torah, and they was keeping the laws when he got down to Ethiopia. And in this video presentation that you are about to see, you will hear this Ethiopian guy say, when he went to the school to learn to speak Hebrew, that he always thought and was taught, he was taught through their forefathers that the northern kingdom, the Jews, was all black. He was taught that the Jews was all black. So he was shocked. And you will hear another Danite, you will hear him say that they always thought that all the Jews was black. All the Israelites was black when they left from the northern kingdom. But yet, Arya have these Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Native Indians as the northern kingdom. When I share this video, listen closely, and you will hear how the narrative talk about this white Jew from Europe going down to see if the Danites existed. And when he got down to Ethiopia, he was astonished. Not only did they exist, he said they was keeping Torah. And listen closely also, like I said, to these two black Danites, as they say they was always taught from their ancestors that all the tribes was black. But yet Arya have these Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, etc., as the 10 tribes, as the northern kingdom, which cannot be so, which is not true whatsoever, because the Danites, they come from the northern kingdom, and all of these camps teach that the reason why they are a light brown complexion is because they mixed. That is what they teach. But yet, the Ethiopian Danites, they are black, and they come from the northern kingdom. So if they are black and come from the northern kingdom, and you Negroes in these camps teach that the northern kingdom mixed, according to the book of Hosea, you use one verse. If you teach that they mixed, but the Danites in Ethiopia are black, then somebody is lying. Somebody is lying. Because the Danites in Ethiopia, like I said, they know their history. They never lost their identities. Never. They always kept Torah for thousands of years after migrating down to Ethiopia. And they was persecuted in Ethiopia by local Hamitic Ethiopians who tried to convert them to become Christians. Listen closer to the video and you will hear this. They was forced to convert by Hamitic Ethiopians, and many of them did not convert, and many was murdered because they did not want to convert and become Christians.
No one is certain how Beta Yisrael came to inhabit northeastern Africa. When Solomon's temple in Jerusalem was destroyed, the Jews were exiled, dispersed in all directions. We never forgot what was written in the Torah. We kept on praying to return. We have no written history, but our forefathers say we came to Ethiopia through Egypt and the Sudan to the Ganda region.
We were born a Jew and we will be forever Jew. And so today I am not trying to find where is my origin.
The point is, we came to Ethiopia, and our forefathers fought to remain Jewish, and they passed down their tradition to us. Beta Yisrael were isolated from the outside world, convinced they were the last Jews on earth. While the Jews of medieval Europe were persecuted and herded into ghettos, Beta Yisrael enjoyed independence with their own rulers and army. Some 500 years ago, tragedy struck. Ethiopia's Christian emperor Ishaq dealt rebellious Jews a crushing military defeat. He demanded they convert to Christianity or lose the right to own land. Ultimately, most Jews were forced off their land. They were forced into new professions. They became pottery makers, weavers, blacksmiths, resented yet necessary. To their Christian neighbors, this world of fire and hot iron seemed like black magic. Persecuted, regarded with suspicion, the Jews were labeled falashas. The word means wanderers, landless.
I don't like to be called falasha. It means you're a foreigner. Go away from here. When they called me Falasha, I was very hurt.
Falasha is an obscenity. They had no respect for us. As it had for Jews elsewhere, adversity hardened their will. Religious leaders established strict rules of conduct to insulate the Jews from their Christian neighbors. Our forefathers erected a barrier. It was forbidden to enter the house of a Christian, to eat with a Christian, to drink the water of a Christian. Because of this, we survived. The Torah, handwritten on goatskin in the ancient Gez tongue and known as the Orit, was at the heart of Ethiopian Jewish life. The Mishnah, Talmud, and other later commentaries were unknown. The Sabbath and other holidays mentioned in the Torah were strictly observed. On Friday, we bathed. On Saturday, we prayed in the synagogue. We all wore clean white clothes. On Shabbat in Ethiopia, no one cooked or lit fires. It was a day of rest. We went according to the Torah. What was written in the Torah was what we did. For that reason, the Passover Seder and holidays like Lag BaOmer, Hanukkah, and Purim that came into being after the destruction of the Second Temple were foreign. The Sigd was unique to Beta Yisrael, a time of prayer and fasting, renewing the ancient covenant forged between God and Moses at Mount Sinai. On this day, the Jews of Ethiopia dared to dream of Jerusalem, of returning to their holy city.
My grandfather would gather all the children and tell them about the land of Israel, about the Jews. I understood I was a part of the people of Israel.
There was a bird. She was a very beautiful bird, and we thought that she came from Jerusalem. So we dreamed a lot to come to Jerusalem, and we were imagined that Jerusalem is a golden area. Even the building is golden, the road is golden, everything is golden.
It would take more than 1,000 years of unwavering belief before the dream came true. The Jewish world knew almost nothing of Beta Yisrael. Over the centuries, scattered reports told of Jewish tribes living beyond the mythical Sambatyon River, of a remote African land inhabited by the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Around 1775, Scottish explorer James Bruce reported the existence of Jews in Ethiopia. In the mid-19th century, French researcher Antoine Dabadi reported meeting Torah-observant black Jews. But real contact came only in 1867, when the French Kol Yisrael Chaverim organization sent Professor Yosef Halevi to investigate Jewish life in Ethiopia.
God of life, of righteousness and justice. Always in their thoughts, He inspires them with hope in a future of universal peace and harmony. In praying, they raise their souls to the infinite. They ask God to make Zion resplendent and to bring them back to Israel, their cherished country. The Keses are the Ethiopian Jewish holy men. They take the responsibility for preserving and transmitting the law and traditions of the people from generation to generation. When the famous Jewish scholar Halevi made his epic journey to Ethiopia in the 1860s, he was astounded to find that the Ethiopian Jews had maintained the Jewish lunar calendar precisely throughout the centuries, and that their religious observances coincided exactly with the religious holidays held by Jews around the world. In fact, he discovered an ancient Jewish people strictly observing the tenets of the Torah, the bedrock of the Jewish faith. The people prayed in Ge'ez, an ancient Semitic language now almost extinct, and today only used in religious services. In this rare film clip, the Kesses are leading the people in the observance of the Seged, a Jewish Ethiopian holiday that commemorates the works of Ezra.
In 1904, Halevi's student, Yaakov Feitlovich, came to Ethiopia and remained for 2 years, living with, learning about, Beta Yisrael.
When Dr. Feitlovich came to Ethiopia, my father told me he was not recognized by our Kessim. He was not allowed to enter to synagogue because he was white. So I myself, I thought all the Jewish people over the world are black people.
Feitlovich returned to Europe with a letter from the Kessim, the Ethiopian religious leaders, saying, "Do not forsake us."
Listen again. He said when this white Jew came down to Ethiopia, he was not allowed to enter into the synagogue because he was white, and that they always was taught that all the Jews or the Israelites were black. Listen again.
Came to Ethiopia, my father told me he was not recognized by our Kessim. He was not allowed to enter to synagogue because he was white. So I myself, I thought all the Jewish people over the world are black people.
But it would take until the last decade of the 20th century before those halting first steps became a giant leap to the land of their dreams.
אנו מכריזים בזאת על הקמת מדינה יהודית בארץ ישראל. היא מדינת ישראל.
In 1948, the State of Israel is established, but Israeli acceptance of Ethiopian Jewry is slow in coming. Yaakov Feitlovich works to strengthen Beta Yisrael's ties to the new state. In the mid-1950s, 2 groups of Ethiopian Jewish youth are brought to Israel where they study Hebrew.
Suddenly, I came into a room and found children from Romania, Poland, America, and I was the only one with a different color. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world. Suddenly, I came into a room and found children from Romania, Poland, America, and I was the only one with a different color. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world. Suddenly, I came into a room and found children from Romania, Poland, America, and I was the only one with a different color. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world.
They always kept their heritage as Israelites. They never lost their identities. Never. So in conclusion, somebody is lying. These camps teach that these nations are part of the northern kingdom, and the reason why they are a light brown complexion is because they mixed. And they run to that one verse when it says Ephraim, he mixed himself among the peoples. And when you read the whole book, like I said, you will see that Ephraim represented the 10 tribes, and they took on the pagan ways of the surrounding nations. And that Yah was the baker. He was the baker, and he got fed up with the 10 tribes. So he ceased baking the 10 tribes. So they used it as a metaphor, saying that Ephraim was like a cake unturned, because Yah, he ceased baking Ephraim, the 10 tribes. So they love to run to that one verse saying that Ephraim was like a cake unturned, and that is the reason, the reason why that these nations that they have on the chart are light brown complexion. But the tribe of Dan that are in Ethiopia, that the Hamites, the Ethiopian Hamites, called them the Philashas, meaning strangers, because they came from that region. They was part of the northern kingdom. Dan was part of the northern kingdom. And they are black. But you say, or should I say these lion camps say, that Ephraim was mixed and became light. But the Danites are black. And they came from the northern kingdom. And they never lost their identities. Never. So, with that being said, somebody is lying. And we know that the Most High is not a liar. He said he's going to gather his people from Cush also. Somebody's lying. And they have been keeping Torah for thousands of years. Like I said, as you saw in the video, when that Jewish convert, Halevi, went down to Ethiopia to see if they existed, he was astonished to see the Danites keeping Torah. He could not believe it. They was keeping Torah. And they was persecuted among the black Hamitic Christians. But yet, these Negroes are teaching lies, saying that the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Native Indians are our people. And they justify that lie off of one verse in the book of Hosea. But the Danites, and I hate to keep saying this over and over like a broken record, the Danites are black. And they was part of the northern kingdom. But yet, they are not light-skinned, or they don't look anything like these Hispanics, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans whatsoever. Somebody's lying.
Came to Ethiopia, my father told me he was not recognized by our Kesib. He was not allowed to enter in to synagogue because he was white. So I myself, I thought all the Jewish people over the world are black people.
Suddenly, I came into a room and found children from Romania, Poland, America, and I was the only one with a different color. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world. I asked myself, what? Are there white Jews? My parents thought we were the only Jews left in the world.